So I thought we'd try something different today and do a tier list. I'm going to try and do a tier list every Tuesday from now on and kind of call it Tier List Tuesdays. These can be about anything Apex related. I can do weapons, legends, maps, I don't know, whatever. But today we're going to go over the best solo legends in my opinion. If you don't already know this, I do a lot of gameplay videos, mainly 20 bombs, really good gameplays, high damage, high kills. I upload almost daily, trying to do daily at the moment. Last season I got 20 kills with every single legend, and the gameplay is on my channel. So I have a good insight of who best solo queues, because I literally solo queued every single legend, and I often solo queue everything to do with ranked and pubs. And yeah, so that's pretty much what this channel's based off anyway. So my insight on legends and tiers should be quite decent. And yeah, let's get into this solo tier list. So starting off from the D tier, the worst legends to play solo, I would go Revenant. Revenant is lacking a lot of abilities. He hasn't been changed in a long time. It's been a good like 10 seasons probably. He's rumoured to get a big rework this season, which is going to be huge for him hopefully, because he's actually like a really likeable legend. Like he's great to play, voice lines are good, lore's good, but he's just crap. He doesn't have much mobility, his hitbox is huge, his silence is good, I don't actually mind his tactical climbing either. I just feel like he needs a lot of work to actually be in a good place to play solo with him. Obviously he's alright, but yeah, needs some work. So I feel like the next two are pretty team-based legends. So the first one being Crypto. If you have a good team of him, you can smash a lot of people up. If you're solo, he is so difficult to play. You literally have to play off of his drone, and if his drone gets destroyed, he's literally a legend with no abilities. It is an absolute nightmare. I'm actually currently, as I make this video, trying to get a gameplay with him, and it's just difficult. If I'm playing Pathfinder, I'd have like 3 gameplays in the time it takes me to get like 1 with Crypto, and it's kind of annoying, but the harder legends are the ones that get more views, and there's a reason they're harder. But yeah, one of the 2 legends that are the hardest to get out, in my opinion, would be Crypto. Just the sheer lack of movement and the pretty much no abilities is very, very difficult to use. So the next one is Lifeline. Lifeline is arguably one of the best teammates to have in terms of she can heal everyone, she can give people loot with her ultimate care package. But as a solo, she's kind of similar to Crypto with no drone. She has a healing drone, and there's not much else really. The care package can help you out, but it doesn't. There's not enough there to help you while fighting. She's not a good fighting legend. She has a small hitbox, which is a big plus, but that's about the only thing that she has going for her, to be honest. And yeah, another D tier, unfortunately. She's actually my second most kills with legend. I have like 6,000 kills with her, and yeah, I'm putting her down into this tier. It's not great. So moving on to C tier, that was all the worst legends in my opinion to play solo. So moving up, Fusey. Now, I enjoy playing Fusey. I think everyone enjoys playing Fusey. He has the best voice lines in the game, by some distance I'd say. His tactical's great fun, his passive's actually good fun and good, but his ultimate is what lets him down, and honestly, his ultimate just needs to be a lot better. It doesn't do the damage it needs to. The rest of his kit is really good, along with not having any movement and that ultimate ability not being that great. I just put him down in C tier. Now, obviously, I put B tier as average. I just put him just below average. He's still really good fun to play, and I probably will make a tier list on the most fun legends to play at some point. And Fusey will be right up there. So moving on to my next one is Gibraltar or Gibby. I hate myself a little bit putting him in here, but it's a difficult one because there's a lot of, you got to choose some that are kind of below average and some that are above. You can't just put everyone in the average tier. And Gibby, he's just too thick. He's just thick as hell. He's massive, he gets beamed by everyone, and all you have for protection is that bubble. It's a good protection, but you've got 20 seconds-ish of it, and it might be less than that actually, it might be 15. And that's it. He's just too big. I actually really enjoy playing Gibby, but I just think he's a struggle to play solo, and I think anyone that plays Gibby will tell you that. Other legends like Newcastle will have higher up in the tiers because he actually has a bit of movement about him. Gibby has no movement, and he's the thickest of the legends, of the big legends. And yeah, he's just not the one. But if you put him with a team that can play off his thickness and his bubble, you have a really good player, a really good legend in that. It's just on solo, he's not great. So next in the D tier we have Rampart. Now Rampart is a one that I actually really like to play. I think she's really good. I think Sheila is one of the best ultimates in the game and the most fun. Her shields are really good. I don't think her passive is very good at the moment because LMGs are overall just kind of underpowered. But I just don't think she's quite that good to solo tier. As a controller legend, they kind of thrive off teammates as well, because obviously she can set up a whole area for a team. Set up an area just for one person you can do, but it's quite difficult to get it right, and it normally slows you down rather than speeds you up when you're playing solo. So that's the reason she's down in the D tier. Next we have Mad Maggie. I have a friend that I play with sometimes, and he is a Mad Maggie main at the moment. And that ultimate ball is horrendous. It hits me more than it actually hits the team that you're aiming at. It just stuns your whole team if it hits you, and it often stuns the person that throws it, which is the Maggie. And honestly, it ruins a lot of her kit. Having a shotgun with Maggie is an absolute dream. On this gameplay, I literally just smash people with a PK for a long time. And she is very good fun to play, but as a solo kind of legend and her ult needing to just not being great, she's okay, but she's not great. Also, using shotguns as a solo legend is very difficult. You want to try and get a knock like close, far away first, and then kind of slowly get up close, unless you're playing a building or something like that. So having shotgun passive is not the best thing for a solo legend. So moving on to the B tier. B tier is where I put the average, it's kind of the midway. All these legends are good, but they are not amazing. That's pretty much where I'm going to say this. These legends are the kind of ones where I'm like, oh, I got to get a 20 of this one, that's fine. And yeah, so nothing more than that. So starting off here, we're going to go Bloodhound. Bloodhound I think is very good. I think that the ultimate gives you a bit of movement, but I think his hitbox is very, very big as well. Overall, the kit is good, but I think with a team, once again, as a team member, a Bloodhound is very, very strong. On your own, it's not as good, but still a decent level. And then you have his new bit of kit, which is the White Raven, and it scans and it tells you where the newest team is. That is a very, very good solo thing, but it's not enough to make him above average in my opinion. So that's why he sits in the B tier. The next B tier legend I'm going to go with is Seer. Now I know people can shout at me all they want, but Seer is 100% with a team a S tier legend. He is maybe the best legend in the game in terms of a teammate, and his scans are incredible. And also his ult is incredible. His whole kit is overpowered and incredible. But as a solo, once you scan someone, all it does is give your position away. The ult is very handy still, but I just don't think his tactical was that handy, and I just don't think he has anything solo-wise that makes him better than other legends in the average kind of tier. So that's why I put him here. I think Seer is S tier in terms of legend for comp, legend for ranked, legend for overall kit, but as a solo, I just don't think he's there. Next in the B tier we have Caustic, another big boy. Now, Caustic is very strong because he has attack and defense capabilities in his kit. You can use that ult either way. You can use his traps either way a little bit, like I do with this fight. I use pretty much just his traps to push these people, kill these people, and eventually they do actually do the ring. But I just don't think he's any better than that. He's too big. He needs the ultimate to actually be very good, I think, and he obviously don't always have that. All the controller legends are better with a team. I think if you have a building to hold and you're solo, he's probably very strong, but if you don't, then you have a big problem, and you're not going to get anywhere very far, and that is why he's in the B tier. So Vantage is one of the first legends I have on this tier list that actually has a fair bit of movement to her. Now, this is one of them things that's kind of controversial to myself. I think the Vantage is quite strong, and in the right hands I think she's really, really strong and very underrated altogether on Apex. I think that she's strong with people that have really good long distance capabilities in games. Now, sniping is not my forte. It's never been I've never enjoyed sniping on games. Like even on the Call of Duties and stuff, I was never a guy that used a sniper, and it transfers game to game to game. I can use them occasionally, but I use them more as a fun thing than actually being good with them. I'm not good with snipers on any games, and that's why she's only in this tier for me. She could be a lot higher than this for other people. So Watson is also in B tier for me. I will say now, Watson in ranked, really strong at the moment. I've been playing ranked, kind of the hard, grindy type ranked, where it's all placement based. And I've been playing Watson. I've been playing Watson a lot this season. She's very good. But as a solo, she has no movement, and it just brings you right down in terms. That was a hell of a beam in the background then. Yeah, sorry. It just brings her down in tiers because she has no movement. She's fun to play, and she can hold buildings really well, and she's kind of the same deal as Caustic. If you have a building to hold and play, she's amazing solo. But if you don't, which is most of the time, she just drops in ranks, and it's as simple as that. It is nothing more than that, and then a simple lack of movement just drops her to the B tier. Next in the B tier we have Mirage. Now Mirage's ult and his actual all-around abilities are very fun to use. He's one of them legends that's probably up there in the fun category in my opinion. But he also requires a team to use most of his really good abilities, which is like the respawn and revive when you go invisible. And I think that's some of his best stuff. I think 1v1ing is actually really good. If you've had a 1v1 legend tier list, he'd be right up there as well. But I just think lacking as a solo, I think he has a lack of movement. He is very good, and I just think he's pretty average in terms of solo play. But yeah, also a very fun legend. So next in the B tier we have Loba. Now Loba in ranked as a solo kind of queuer is very, very strong. I'd assume that she's probably one of the strongest ones. Sweet recently did like a solo to master without actually killing anyone, I think, with Loba. Because she's good for loot, she's good for support for a team, but that's kind of what you need. Support for a team isn't there when you're playing solo, and that's why she's in B tier. She's pretty average, she's got a good tactical, her ult is very useful for yourself at the start of the game more than anything else. But yeah, all around she's pretty strong, and that's why she's in the B tier. So moving on to the above average kind of players, legends. First of all, this is the A tier, sorry. First of all, we have Catalyst. I honestly think that she is very, very strong. Obviously she has no extra movement, but she has she has her ult, which is, I think it's called the Dark Veil, which obviously blocks players' line of sight. And people have no line of sight, it just makes people, it's kind of like movement. That doesn't really make sense, but you can basically use Cat as a bit of a movement legend because you can block over people's lines of sight, and that is why I think she's above average. I really enjoy playing Cat. I think she's really, really strong. I think she's quite easily the best controller legend in the right hands, and you can play aggressive with her ult and you can play defensively. She's a bit like a bit caustic-y, but not quite the same, and obviously the hitbox isn't too bad. So yeah, very A tier. Next one in A tier is Ashe. Now, I actually quite enjoy Ashe. I think she's still quite underpowered because I just don't think her Q is very good. Her ultimate is very useful for the attack and defensive, kind of getting out, we can port teammates out of being down, things like that. But I just don't think she's quite strong enough to be in the S tier. I think she has a bit of movement, which makes her above average. I think her Q is actually quite good. Now it had a bit of a buff, but I think it just needs a bit more. I think her whole kit needs a little bit more, and maybe something to do with the her passive ability, like she can read the death boxes. Just something like that would completely change her, and I do think she's good, but she's just not quite good enough for that S tier. Next is Bangalore. Now Bangalore has not been changed in like 15 seasons, and there's a good reason for that. She is strong on all accounts. She doesn't have like a full on movement, but she has that increased movement speed passive, which is huge. She also has smoke, which is the kind of blocking line of sight, just like Catalyst I put down before this. That is why she's in A tier. She's just all round good at fighting, good at even being defensive. She's all round good, and yeah, not quite that S tier once again, but she is very, very strong in the right hands, and yeah, I enjoy playing Bangkok a lot. So next we have Ballistic. Now Ballistic obviously was a new legend in season 17, and I think he's actually above average. I think he's pretty strong. I love the ultimate, and the tactical's kind of okay. The ultimate idea is cool. I like the furry guns, and I like everything about him is pretty cool. He has cool voice lines, and he looks pretty badass as well. And obviously that's not what this is about. But as a solo queuer, you can get that you can get the fast reload, you can get that sleight of hand kind of and feeling faster kind of vibe, and it really does help in fights. 1v1 in a Ballistic will be very, very difficult, and that is why he is above average for me. So the final one in the A tier category is going to be quite a controversial one, I think, because yeah, it's one of the big boys, Newcastle. Now Newcastle is a strange one. I quite like playing Newcastle. I don't often play him though, and I just think that he has a really high skill ceiling, and as a solo player you have a couple of things that Newcastle has that are just really strong. You have his ult to get bigger with, and you can move quite far with the ult. The ult's quite underrated in my opinion. You can really change a fight with like an ult midway through. You can change positions in like a second. You can't really get shot while you're doing it. And then you have a Q that takes like 600 damage to break, and you have to be pushed in, or you're going to get a heal off. And if you play him well solo, he is very, very strong. So moving on to the S tier. Now this is basically going to be the most movement characters I'm going to go with. The movement legends are just the strongest ones in terms of playing on your own. You can get in and out of fights. You need to try and take 3 1v1s basically when you're 1v3ing and playing solo, and the easy way to do that is with a bit of movement. There's a reason that you see most people play movement legends, and the highest pick legends on the game are movement legends, say like Horizon, Wraith, all movement legends, and I haven't mentioned them yet, so you can guess where they're going to be, and Octane is right in there. Octane's obviously got these abilities that just make him really quickly, really quickly, and he's just strong all round, to be honest, in the right hands. So next we have Wraith. I think everyone knew that Wraith was always going to be in this S tier. She is so strong, and she is perfect for solo queuing. You can be in and out of fights whenever you want to with her fuse and her phase, Jesus Christ, and her portal and everything just makes her very, very good for solo queuing. There's a reason that she has a lot of people have a lot of kills on her. Fade and Ecstasy will obviously main her all the time, and there is a big reason for that. She is just all round so strong, and obviously she's my main as well, so I might be a little bit biased there, but yeah, there's a bit of a stigma against Wraith mains, but there's usually a reason that people play Wraith, and they're normally good players, I'd say, but yeah, obviously not all people think that. Moving on to the next one, we have Horizon. Horizon's she's played by a lot of people. If I see a legend being played, the most scary people for me are Wraith and Horizons, and this is just it all kind of goes into this for me. Her movement with that grav lift, her ultimate is very strong. Even though she can't shoot while going up the grav lift anymore, still very, very strong and a very high tier legend. Also quite difficult to play. But yeah, her whole kit is easily an S tier. Next movement legend on the S tier is obviously going to be Pathy. Pathy has one of the best tacticals in the game, if not the best in my opinion. His grapple is incredible. He has the zipline, also the zipline, which has good speed on that you can't get shot from. And he also has that kind of passive now where he can look at care packages and it recharges it. And all round he is incredible. He's always been really, really fun to play. He is one of the most kills legends that I have as my main. He's not quite my main, but he is up there. And yeah, all round, the only bad thing about Pathfinder is his hitbox. He has a pretty large hitbox, but apart from that, all round he is incredible and very, very S tier in my opinion, especially for solo play. Now moving on to the last S tier legend and the last legend in this whole list, Valk. So Valk's another movement legend. She's really highly played anyway. She's good in every mode. She has she has an ability for everything. She can scan, she can do damage over tactical, she has a movement, she can literally fly, and in my opinion she's still one of the strongest legends in the game. I know they've nerfed her a few times and she did need it, but yeah, her pure rotational skill just for when you're on your own is very handy. She can fly to any roof instantly and take height. One of the best, if not the best, solo queue option in my opinion. And yeah, getting 20s is always a lot easier when you have a Valk, and even on your team or a teammate. Yeah, everything's easier with a Valk, and that is exactly why she's good to solo queue with. So that pretty much sums up the end of this tier list. This is obviously the solo tier list. This isn't what I think are the best legends in the game tier list. I might be doing that in the future. But what I want to know in the comments is what tier list you'd like to see from me. I can do weapons, maps, anything you want. A different legend one than this. And yeah, I'm open to pretty much anything. So in the comments, please let me know what you would like to see and if you enjoyed this. It's quite a long video, a bit different from what I do. And normally I just do the gameplays. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, do what you feel like doing. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace out for now.